Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Frank of All Trades. Now this video is a little different because number one, it's 100% in English. You asked for it, I'm giving you 100% English version of my videos. And number two, we're going to talk about photography. What type of photography I take with my phone, what kind of apps I use to edit them, how do I import them into my editing apps, what settings I mess with, and how I turn boring photography into interesting photography, okay? Any photography with a little bit of editing can be interesting, and any interesting photography with no editing can be pretty boring, okay? With this video, I'd like to welcome you to... So, we're in downtown Tijuana. I want to show you around. I'm going to show you this place is very interesting. It's got a lot of very interesting corners, and this is what we're going to use to take our photography with the cell phone, okay? I use a few apps. I'm going to put some of the name of the apps right here. Mainly SNAPSEED is one of the apps I use the most, and that app lets you edit pictures on a very deep level. You can edit the highlights, the shadows, the saturation, the angle, the crop. You can crop and edit the size of your image, and you can also edit the perspective. I'm gonna go into detail into every single aspect of photography, and again, I'm taking these pictures 100% with my cell phone, so follow along. Okay, without further ado, let's jump into the app, okay? I picked an app that is both compatible with Android and also iOS, okay, for your Apple devices. Now this app, as you know already, it's called SNAPSEED. You can find it on both platforms, like I said, Android for Google and also the iOS devices for Apple, okay? It's 100% free. All of the features are free, okay? So go ahead and enjoy it. If you've downloaded the app, you're ready, let's jump into it. First of all, I want to show you this screen. You prompted it into the tap anywhere to open a photo or the import screen. All you need to do is tap the plus sign. It's going to open several options to import photographies. The one I use the most is basically import from my library, okay? I am basically importing pictures I've taken with my phone and they're saved on my photo folder. So what you need to do is just hit the plus sign, go look for the picture you want to edit, and that's as simple as that, okay? That's how you import pictures into this app, okay? Go ahead and import a picture you want to work on, and let's move on to the second step. Second step is basically going through the different settings, going through the different looks. This app has multiple levels of editing your pictures, okay? The first one, which I love the most, is the presets. As you can see, as soon as you open up the app and import a picture, the first thing you see is presets. You can actually just edit your pictures with these presets and be done with. And these are actually amazing presets, 100% free, all of them, okay? So again, what you need to do after you import your picture is you land on the preset page. These presets, you can actually choose any look. And they already look pretty amazing. This here is my favorite. I believe it's called the Faded Glow. It adds a little bit of drama, and it also, as you can see here, it changes the picture dramatically. So you can actually just use these presets and be done with, okay? But we are going to go a bit further. We're going to go a bit deeper in editing. The next step, or the next area we want to focus on, is the general adjustments, okay? This general tool panel lets you edit pictures a little bit deeper because it has, as you can see here, several areas of the photography you can edit. You have the brightness, you can edit your contrast, you can edit your saturation, you can edit your ambient light, you can edit also your highlights, your shadows, your warmth. you can change the temperature in pictures. Now let's go over those little by little. Brightness, well, obviously lets you edit the amount of light the picture has. The exposure, it changes the quality of the light, the intensity of the light. If the picture is too dark, you can increase this a little bit. Don't go too crazy with the exposure, okay? Because if you increase the brightness to a certain level, your picture is going to look really crappy because it's going to develop a lot of noise. Noise is an aberration that occurs when you increase the lighting, the brightness on your photo. So don't go too crazy with the brightness, okay? After the brightness, you get to work with the contrast. The contrast will deal with the depth, the separation from your main object and the background. It adds a little bit of contrast, it adds a little bit of shadows, it increases shadows, it makes blacks look a lot deeper. It's a great way to edit. It's a great tool if you want to add more drama to your pictures and you want to separate main objects from the background, okay? That's contrast. Then you'll see saturation. Saturation is basically the amount of color and the intensity in those colors. If you have some greens and reds and blues and you want to make them a lot more intense, a lot more vibrant, this is where you change them, okay? From saturation, we're going to go into ambience. Ambience basically changes the quality of your ambient light. You can have a main subject in the middle and everything is so dark. If you don't like that look, you can actually change the light in the ambient around your main object. It will increase the brightness or decrease the brightness around the main subject, okay? After ambience, we go into highlights. Highlights is basically the intensity of those highlight points. If your subject is getting hit by the light, like I'm getting hit right now from this window here, if your subject has or develops a highlight on this area, with this feature you can change the intensity of this light, making it look a lot more realistic, okay? After highlights, of course, you get to work with the shadows. The shadows is pretty self-explanatory. You can change the intensity in light only in the shadow areas. If the picture is too dark, aside from your subject, everything else is too dark and you don't like that, like the ambience light, it changes the intensity in light only for the shadows, or it deepens the shadows. The last tool, which is warmth, lets you change the quality of your light. You can go from blue to red, from red to blue, from cold pictures, which is on the blue range of this spectrum, to warm pictures, which is, going to the red colors in your picture. This is particularly helpful if you want to change the feeling of a picture. If you want it to feel clean and professional and cold, well, you leave it on the blue side of this spectrum. You want to make it look probably like you spent the afternoon at the beach, or this is summer. You will add a little bit of warmth, a little bit of red colors, so you can make it look warmer. Now, those are the main tools I use the most, okay? But there are also other features in this app that are quite amazing. Now, let me be really clear about something. SNAPSEED is not sponsoring this video, okay? I just really enjoy this app. I've been using it for years, and every update they do, they change things dramatically and they help you fix your pictures, make them look gorgeous. All in one app. You have both presets and you have also different features, different tools that you can use to tweak your pictures. So next up on the tools, we work with tuning your image, which is the main menu with the main tools that I normally use, but there are also other areas here that are pretty amazing. The detail tool basically will help you just add more resolution, add more details to your image. In case it looks kind of blurry or you didn't focus correctly, this tool right here will help you fix it slightly, okay? It doesn't add too many details or too much resolution. Up next, you have your curves. Curves basically will help you change the color individually for the different channels in your picture. I'm not gonna bore you with definition and technical, information, but your picture is divided in different channels for different colors, the reds, the blues, the greens, etc. This feature in this app lets you work with only the reds, only the greens, only the blues and the darks, of course. And it lets you make some adjustments specifically for those channels, okay, in case you need this. Now you'll notice that some of these tools have a magic wand at the very bottom. Well, that is the app basically doing all the heavy lifting for you. If you don't want to figure out what to do, what to move, or what to tweak, if you click on that magic wand, the app will figure things out on its own, and it'll fix your picture automatically without you having to do all the work, okay? Look into it. Next, we move into white balance. White balance, basically what I explained earlier, is to change the temperature in your light. If you didn't have the correct temperature or you wanted to have a different look, this is where you change it, okay? Temperature of your light. It actually says here at the very top, temperature. It helps you make your pictures warmer or colder depending on your situation, okay? Next up on these tools is a cropping tool. Now, the cropping tool is really interesting. As you can see here at the bottom, it has different presets already. You can change the cropping of your image to free, which is just you changing whatever size you wish to accomplish. It also has other options, different ratios. It has a square picture, it has a 3x2, the 4x3s, the 5x4s. It has a lot of different options, and it helps you figure out the sizing of your picture depending on what you're using it for. Next up is a rotation tool. As the name explains, it's basically helping you rotate your picture to best fit your needs. Then you have perspective. Perspective is really interesting. I actually used perspective on the first picture in the introduction of the video. It lets you change the perspective. If you took the picture a little bit off your diagonals, or a little bit off the horizon, or a little bit off your position, if you didn't position yourself correctly, some of those lines in the picture are going to look crooked. Well, this tool helps you straighten them up and make the picture look like you took it from the perfect angle. Notice that this one here also has the magic wand. It'll fix the perspective automatically. You don't have to figure things out. It has also a grid with straight lines, verticals, and horizons, so you can actually have a little bit of help when doing this, okay? Selective. Selective is one of my favorite tools here. Selective will let you pinpoint a very specific area on your picture, so you can edit 4 things. You can edit the brightness, you can edit the contrast, you can also edit the saturation and the structure. Again, for a very specific point in your picture. Let's say you took a picture like I did right here, and I want to highlight that blueberry. That's a delicious Mexican flan, by the way. It has a blueberry on top. It was amazing. But let's say I want to highlight that blueberry. Well, I pinpoint the blueberry, and then you can change left or right to make it look brighter or darker, have more or less contrast, more or less saturation. And the rest of the features here, between brush and healing, those are basically for you to paint on the picture. Brush particularly lets you brush in a little bit of something we call dodge and burn, which is basically, in other words, adding or removing shadows, adding or removing highlights. You can do it manually. Let's say your picture doesn't look right, it kind of needs like a highlight on the left hand side. With this feature here, you can paint it with your finger. You can paint dodge and burn, or shadows and highlights. You can paint exposure, which is whatever your finger paints, it's going to become lighter. You can paint temperature. Let's say you want to change the temperature of very specific items on your picture. You can just paint it on, and whatever you paint, that area right there, that specific area will become warmer or colder. You can do the same thing with saturation. Add or remove intensity in your colors by just painting on your pictures. Then you have healing. Healing is a favorite of mine, especially when you're taking portraiture. You can see right here, with healing, you can remove those scars, you can remove those pimples, you can remove those marks around the face and make it look pretty. You can also do it for different areas like the arms, especially if it's the skin. But as you can see right here, you can also remove items entirely from a picture that just don't look right, like that item right there. I think it's a sanitizer dispenser or something. It was just not right. So I removed it just by painting on top of it, and the app does all the calculation and removes it automatically. Great, great tool. And then from that point on, all you have basically are different looks with different colors, with different styles. It's amazing. I will encourage you to download the app and experiment. It's such a powerful app. 100% free, and every single picture I took on this video was taken by a cell phone and edited with this app, okay? Most of the features are self-explanatory. If you struggle here and there with the app and some of these tools, do not forget about the magic wand. That magic wand will save your life, okay? In specific situations that become a lot harder, it's a lifesaver. What else? If you think this information was valuable to you, if you like this style of videos, if you think somebody can be benefited with this video, please go ahead and share. I would also encourage you again to subscribe. You're free to do whatever you want, okay? But I would love to have you here with these conversations. I'm gonna put out more content like this, more English content. Let me know in the comments if you like this. Let me know in the comments if this was useful. If it was, please consider subscribing. Please consider leaving me a thumbs up. Please consider leaving me a comment, okay? It helps a lot. Thank you so very much for stopping by once again in one of my videos. I hope this information was 100% useful. Go ahead and share. Don't forget to find us on Instagram. On Instagram we post several behind the scenes, and you can find us in the Frank of All Trades official. I'm gonna leave a link below, okay? Thank you very much for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. I hope to see those pictures on Instagram become better and better. Please tag me. You can find me under Frank of All Trades official. I'm gonna leave that here, and also a link in my description, okay? Thank you very much, and this was Frank of All Trades. Have a good afternoon.